So, one of the things that I think might be really helpful to us that we touched on a little bit last time is sort of setting goals for ourselves, both in sort of the immediate future and these longer term goals. So, as far as like, you know, by the time that we finish together, um, in 9 months, which is sort of the projected timeline we had talked about, like at the end of that time, what would you really like to be different in your life? What would you like to have changed?
I would like to be at peace with my relationship with my husband, either together or not.
Okay.
That I mean, since it's causing so much um, stress right now, I think that would be the main thing. And of course, working out our relationship so that we're at peace together. Like if we stay together, it would be great to like be at a place where we can openly communicate about things and not fight as much and like be
Right.
be solid, be a unit again.
And I think that's a really great long-term goal, both sort of being open to both possibilities. I think one of the things that you're really great at is being open to there being more than one answer to a question, and being sort of prepared for both of those. And I obviously would like to be part of the resources that you have to help you with that journey. So that is a really great long-term goal. As far as sort of shorter term, more immediate goals, what do you think might be some steps that would help you work toward that long-term goal?
I'd like to, instead of just having an argument with my husband, have a calm, mature conversation with him. And it's hard because like I feel like when we're fighting, he's not really listening. He's just like very closed off because he's upset, and he's not really like engaging in the conversation and like trying to work stuff out. I feel like he's not trying to work stuff out.
And that would be really frustrating.
Yeah,
I understand that.
So it'd be nice to, I don't know how, but like somehow we could get to a place where we could have a conversation about things calmly and really like be able to listen to each other. Like I want to hear what he's saying, and I want him to hear what I'm saying. So.
Well, and I think that you touched upon a really important part, which is that I think when we do get really frustrated with people not listening to us, we in turn sort of shut ourselves off to being good listeners. So as a shorter term goal, being able to have a civil conversation, without it escalating into an argument.
Even like a fun conversation where we're like laughing and joking would be awesome. We haven't had that in a long time.
Well, and if you were comfortable with it, maybe using one of your friends as a resource could be a way of facilitating at least maybe one evening a week, even if it was 2 hours to go to a movie or go to a coffee shop or grab dinner, or even make dinner at home and have your son go somewhere else. Having that extra time might really be beneficial for you guys. Do you think that it is a feasible thing to say that in the next month you could work on speaking to one of your friends about watching your son and set up a date with your husband? Okay. So we'll say in the next 4 weeks you will. So the first step to that might be contacting one of your friends to see if that's a possibility, and maybe also as a caveat to that, like also looking into affordable or free childcare. Okay.
Also, I'd like to work up to like talking to him about doing something like that. You
Okay.
know, like have like
Yeah.
I want him to be open to it.
Sure.
So maybe like trying to like put the ideas out there.
Sure.
About, like maybe
Yeah.
we should possibly do something or with
Yeah. So maybe sort of laying the groundwork for or approaching.
actually asking him
Mm-hmm.
out on a date.
Do you think these three things are? What is a good timeline for those three things? Do you think?
I think 4 weeks. Like 4 weeks being like the end of the 4 weeks is when we actually go somewhere.
Yeah. So do you think maybe these things like sort of approaching your friend and approaching your husband are things that are doable in the next week between okay? And then maybe next week we could talk about sort of the next step, which would be actually, setting a date and getting excited about it. And okay. Well, I think those would be really great things, and I think that you've thought of some really good resources for yourself. So it seems to me that you're really motivated to trying to make this relationship work, and above all, motivated to your own well-being and your own happiness. So I think that's great. Are there any sort of closing things that you'd like to discuss?
No, I mean, I think we covered it, and ultimately I wanted to work out with my husband. I love him, and so it's been really exciting talking to you, so thank you.
Oh, of course. Well, thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.